Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, and good night. This is David. I sound like a radio announcer. Well, that's what I do. Well, here's the very beginning of another great series. This is the restoration of Bruce, our 1962 Volvo Amazon. This one's going to be a little bit different than Arthur in the sense that I'm going to try to get this car running as it sits. No doubt we remember how dusty it was. First thing we're going to do is cover up that carburetor air filter with a towel, and then we'll make sure it doesn't get wet so we can rinse out everything in the engine bay here.
Supposed to do sit around and wait for you. Well, I can't.
Okay, we'll let this dry for about 24 hours. Make sure there's no water in the wiring. It's pretty dry, warm climate out here, even though it's winter. We'll get back to the wiring part tomorrow. Today we'll just keep cleaning the car out, making sure we fix any connections that we see broken, obvious ones. I was going to change the oil, but it looks pretty good in here. If it's apparently 15 years old, we'll see. These are robust engines. As long as it lubricates, we'll be alright. Let's try it out. When I removed the radiator cap, there was a distinct hiss. So it's actually still got pressure in there. I think it's time. Let's do this. If there's a fire or an explosion, I want to make sure you guys see it.
It's the one and only Digo Double G. Snoop Dogg.
Well, you can't win them all. Smell like any problems. Well, it's too bad I have no clutch, otherwise I would have been driving this car by now. One thing worth mentioning in the trunk. One thing worth mentioning. You can see through these holes here. That's real thin. Looks like a fiberglass repair. From here, this corner piece will probably be replaced. And of course, when we sandblast, we'll just see what shape we're in over here. Spare tire well looks really good, and I love the acoustics of this Echo. The bushings look solid right there. Trespassers. And... oh, you're fine. Oh, baby. The odometer is reading 61082. Of course, we all know it's probably 161 at this point. Here are our door panels. These are the old seats for Arthur. They were black. They were reupholstered with some red plaid. That's the back seat for Arthur. And the way the sun is shining with the shadows, it looks like a huge cluster you-know-what. That's the BMW's new exhaust manifold. We'll get to that eventually. We've got bigger fish to fry right now. This car will largely be left original. I should fix my hair. It's a mess, isn't it? This car is largely going to be left original. There's going to be two major improvements on it, and that's things in safety and drivability. Polyurethane bushings, of course. A larger B20 versus the original B18, probably with some fancier carburetors than the SUs. They're great carbs, but they're just a little too conservative for an engine that would be mostly built, because we're going to be rebuilding this thing top to bottom. Double valve springs, probably bored out, or at least just re-ringed, resealed everywhere else below. And then a big race cam, which is going to be awesome. And larger, wider wheels. The wheels that are on there now are a good size. I like them. The car will probably stay stock height, which is, it's going to be hard for me to do that, because you know how I love lowered cars. So a slightly larger wheel will help me in that. Those Mustang wheels are there for that very reason. And the driving lights, Jack's wagon behind me has these beautiful French lights. I love them. It's basically another full-sized sealed beam. This garage is like Zabumafu's closet, and I can find anything I need pretty much at any given time. You want a dollop of grease? Okay. Except for the fact that I spent 20 minutes looking for a spark plug this morning, and then got the bright idea to just pull one off of this engine, because that one was missing one. And then I found a whole box inside the car. Funny how things work like that. This is the part of the video where I rant. It's always a good feeling when you don't need a fire extinguisher. And one more thing I was going to talk about. The other thing I'm going to be changing in the interior is headrests, because I want to keep my neck in one piece in the unlikely accident, in the unlikely event that I have a car accident. I don't want to have, you know, it'll go pretty far back. The seatbelts, we'll see how that's going to work, because I like the original Volvo seatbelts. They're adequate. You know, as long as their webbing isn't torn and the spring is good on those clips, you can reuse those belts and have trouble-free years to come. I do like newer style belts, but I want it to have the appearance of being original. The headrests hopefully won't detract too much from that, considering that they were standard equipment on 67, 68 and up models. And the front grills are... the whole nose piece is going to be replaced. I'm looking for a pre-64 front nose, and then I will be getting the grills from it. The Swedish eBay Tradera, it's the best. Tradera. That's Italian, man. Tradera. Tradera. I have a problem with English pronunciation of words. Tradera. There's like a ch. Every time there's a TR, just be Tradera. Tradera. I don't like the ch sound. The TR, we make a ch, and then it just sounds bad. I'll spend a week stripping both cars down. We will basically have bare machines ready to go into a sandblaster booth, and then once they're blasted, they will go into paint. This car will stay original. This is Genevieve. Bruce will get that nice blue color that the interior is, and I wish that my camera could show you just how well the interior cleaned up. I remember when I used to chase a ball with such wild abandon. Oh, they're coming for you! A couple of things worth mentioning also underneath here. We've got polyurethane bushings on the upper A-arms. That's great. And back there in the corner, you can see that nice split in the sheet metal. It's a really common point on these cars where they like to split and break right on that. It's a stressful little thing. My solution has been to cut a plate and weld it to reinforce that entire section there. There you can see the polyurethane bushings. Oops. One of my favorite bits is the crack in this exhaust manifold that pretty much spans the entire outside of it. I think that's really great. Couldn't feel anything coming out of it, but of course that exhaust manifold's no good. And I got a couple on the shelf if I ever needed another one. Carburetor seems to be doing really well considering it's jetted for sea level. This does not have the breakaway steering column, so yeah, avoid getting into an accident. There's no overflow bottle on this, which I will be using the, oh my goodness. Okay, that's time out for you, camera. That's what happened when I bumped my tripod.